allows him to walk that very narrow line.
Do you worry that using the term anchor babies could affect your ability to win the Hispanic vote?
Look, as I said in Spanish, my background, my life, the fact that I've been immersed in the immigrant experience, this is ludicrous for the Clinton campaign and others to suggest that somehow I'm using a derogatory term. What I was talking about was the specific case of fraud being committed where there's organized efforts, and frankly it's more related to Asian people coming into our country, having children, in that organized efforts, taking advantage of a noble concept with his birthright citizenship. I support the 14th Amendment. Nothing about what I've said should be viewed as derogatory towards immigrants at all.
The Chinese agree.
Okay. All right. So I love it in so many ways. As I said earlier in Spanish. Yeah, I got it, dude. I know. You speak Spanish, and so you're appealing to the Latino community. Okay, I got it, right? That was a nice Freudian slip.
He should have said en español. Why did he say Spanish?
Numero uno, I'd like to say.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's just I just start speaking Spanish sometimes.
I'm so fluent in Spanish. Por favor. Okay. So anyway, all right. And then he's like, "Oh, my background." I know, dude. Just say, okay, my wife's
That's my wife over there. Put the camera on her.
She's Latina. My kids are Hispanic. But that's fair. That's fair. I wish your policies towards Latinos was better given that context, right? But nobody's doubting that you love Latinos. Your kids are Latino, right? Okay, so I got it. It's okay to say. But the pandering is just like tiresome, right? And then he's gonna throw somebody under the bus. He's like, Latinos? No, they're a bigger voting bloc, right? No, I meant those son of a bitch Asians. What are they doing up in here, man? They're the ones dropping anchors all over us. Now, here's the unfortunate part. He's kind of right.
Yeah. He's kind of right.
I mean, let's keep it real, right? So a lot of Asians, Chinese specifically, are coming into the country specifically for the purpose of having kids. There's like almost like tourist packages for that. There's certain hospitals they use. There's certain apartment buildings they rent out here in Southern California. We know it. We've reported on it. And so now my background allows me to comment. My wife's Asian. My kids are Asian.
As you were saying in Mandarin.
Yes, earlier I was saying it. Both Mandarin and Cantonese.
Simultaneously.
So, yeah, it's a thing that happens. Am I that wigged out by him using the term anchor babies? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm actually not. I get why I'm offended, but and it's easier for me to say I don't care that much. But look, I'm an immigrant. I'm first-generation immigrant. So if I got a right to be offended. I just happen not to be offended by that term. I don't really care that much.
Yeah, I'm not offended, and I'm a white male. So,
okay, you have to do
I'm a third-generation immigrant, I guess. Look, I get that other communities do find it to be derogatory, particularly when it's used by people who represent a party that is seriously considering taking away birthright citizenship. I would be a little bit more worried. Now, it is true that China is one of the largest single countries in terms of the number of people who are using this system, this loophole, as he would say. That is true. That's not my problem with it. It's when he talks about in the organized fashion. And look, you can say that what he means there is the fact that they have hotels or hospitals or whatever, but he makes it seem as if the government itself is setting up some sort of plot to slowly take over the country. And it's the same sort of way that Trump was talking about Mexico. It's not that individual Mexicans or people from Guatemala or Honduras or wherever are choosing to come here. It's that Mexico is sending us the bad ones. It's this conspiracy theory thinking that it's an organized effort. It's not. It's fucking incentives that individual people are responding to, and we can influence those incentives. It is not a government conspiracy to destroy the purity of America.
And oftentimes in the case of the Chinese, it's usually the richest that are coming here, that have the money, the luxury, to be able to afford to come here and have babies here. It's not easy to get here if you're in China. And you oftentimes the most privileged. Now, the Chinese government don't want those people leaving. That's a brain drain in a lot of ways.
Exactly, yeah.
That's also a drain of their resources and the money that they have they could bring here. Now, the reason they want to have their kids here and have them have American citizenship is because they might want to move here and then take their money out of China. China doesn't want that. So this whole idea of like, China sending them the anchor babies or the Mexicans
You got too many millionaires. Be gone with you.
yeah, absurd.
Yeah, and then this, I would also say, maybe fights back against the idea that Trump has been saying that, like, China, Mexico, they're beating us at everything now. No, they still want to come here, man. That implies that we're winning in some ways.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, and they're apparently also beating us in babies.
Exactly.
Apparently they like to have sex. God bless their hearts. Dropping those anger babies.
I can sort of understand.
Okay, I'm against that.
That's, yeah. You're not allowed to say that about Hispanics or Asian folks. Find some other group. Okay. But this attempt to sort of placate both the hardliners in his party and potential voters, not Chinese voters, he's apparently not worried about them, but Hispanic voters, was met with at least one piece of opposition, and that comes from Donald Trump, who doesn't like him horning in on his racism game. So Donald Trump began one of his now famous Twitter storms, since the man who's running for president has nothing better to do with his time than to spend all of it on social media. He says, in a clumsy move to get out of his anchor baby's dilemma, where he signed that he would not use that term and now uses it, he blamed Asians. Asians are very offended that he speaks to a lot of Asians, and he can speak for them. Yeah. Asians are very offended that Jeb said that anchor babies applies to them as a way to be more politically correct to Hispanics. Mess. Then he did one of his... The things that he chooses to capitalize amuse me, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you wouldn't have said racist things against Asians, right? You only do racist things against Latinos. Yeah. So, like, I like that distinction he's drawing. Second of all, like, he capitalizes Asians. Why are you screaming at him? Because he talks like a third grader, right? And then in the second tweet, the only thing he capitalizes is Jeb. It's almost as if it's an insult. Asians are very offended. Jeb. Maybe it's like a Mad Libs, and when he inserts the nouns, it does it in all caps. I don't know. Look, what it reminds me of is when you go in like comment sections and crazy people begin ranting, they have this thing where they have to randomly capitalize. Like, sometimes they'll do the shout capitalization, sometimes they'll just do the first letter of a word that has no reason to be capitalized. It's like a weird, crazy person mental tick. But then, I like this, he sort of gloms on to someone else's tweet. Jeb Bush is crazy. Who cares that he speaks Mexican? This is America, English, space, double, exclamation point. Okay. What's the space for? And he's not speaking Mexican. So, no, but that's the one that really interests me. First of all, it's interesting because it's wonderfully ridiculous, right? Okay. But as I look at that, I go, okay, so what is Trump doing? Is he as ignorant as his voters? And so it's not as much of an act as you think it is. He really is at an education level of a third grader, and that's why he screams into the Twitter, right? And calls people baby and dum-dum and things like that. Yeah. So does he actually believe that Jeb Bush speaks Mexican? Or does he think, is he a mad genius and he thinks, oh, this will work with my voters. I know that he speaks Spanish, but let me quote this guy saying he speaks Mexican because my voters are actually dum-dums and they'll really enjoy that, right? I don't know which one it is. I really don't know. I want it to be both at the same time. I think the second one in this case. Uh-huh. And he seems to have as his strategy on social media because for some reason he gets to just be a crazy person on Twitter and nobody cares. Like if Obama... Can you imagine if Obama was doing retweet attacks against political opponents? Anyway, for some reason, it's okay for him. He gets to do, if he retweets something, it's okay. Like, he won't call Megyn Kelly a bimbo. He just keeps retweeting that she's a bimbo. And again, for some reason, it seems to be working. Could you imagine if, during the 2008 election, Obama and Hillary Clinton are running, and Obama starts tweeting like, Hillary's a dum-dum, a baby, a loser. Can you imagine? By the way, some of these tweets are sent at 3:49 a.m. I believe there's some chance that Trumpenstein does not sleep. Doesn't sleep. And that's why he's lost his mind. Because you need sleep, man. Exactly. This is what happens. If you're retweeting crazy tweets at 3:49 in the morning, like, you got big issues, man. He's just fucking sending retweets and he's liking Megyn Kelly's vacation photos from 3 years ago. That's what he's doing at 3 a.m. and that's pretty much it at this point. I bet he does. I bet he does. Okay, let me give two more quotes. I can't get enough of these tweets. Jeb Bush never uses last name on advertising, signage, material, etc. Is he ashamed of the name Bush?
A pretty sad situation. Go, Jeb.
So is he a supporter of Jeb or not?
I guess he's being sarcastic with the Go Jeb. I don't know why he didn't capitalize it, though.
Jeb.
Maybe he used his all caps on Bush, and he was all capped out on that.
Look, Trump loves his last name, that's true, but he also likes to be called the Donald. Is that him running from his name?
Good.
I hear that Trump makes the best steaks in the world. I wouldn't be ashamed of that name, personally.
Jeb Bush talked about my border proposal to build a quote-unquote fence. It's not a fence, Jeb. It's a wall! And there's a big difference.
I gotta start tweeting like this.
Well, apparently we all have to do something like Donald Trump because it's working. I mean, as you're about to tell us in a separate story, his lead is now so large that it's become almost unassailable. In the Frank Luntz story about how they cannot move the Republican voters off of him.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's one of the most amazing political stories that any of us will see in our lifetime.
Yeah, there's apparently nothing he can do that will actually turn people off. Like the POW thing, like all these sacred cows, he gets to keep slaughtering them and nobody cares.
I think he can take his dick out. I think
he
so.
can?
Yeah, and I think that that afterwards he'll be like, "Why were you looking at it? You deviant, you pervert." Okay.
I would not advise that he do that because, look, I don't know everything about human nature. I'm not the best judge of character, but when I look at Donald Trump, the idea that he's backing, I find inconceivable. Sorry, buddy.
Compensation stuff.
Compensation.
But it reminds me of the scene from the HBO show Silicon Valley. I think there's some chance at some point, maybe during a debate, that he puts his balls on a table.
Or he just pisses at someone.
He literally
might piss at someone.
Hey, that's a good point, Scott Walker. Come here.
And he shoots up in the balls.
I wouldn't. There's some
votes rain down on him in a golden shower. You just can't lose. It's gotten this crazy. Even S.E. Cupp today said that he does not live in the reality-based world. That people should stop acting as if he is a rational being that will respond in a rational way. S.E. Cupp's a crazy person, and even she can see he's a fucking child.
SNL, man, let's go, man. Pick up the pace. You got to do the peeing skit.
Seriously, no, they got to do it now before he does it. Anything they do, he might exceed next week.
He won't go over the top. Just piss on their shoe or something.
Oh, put your foot in the piss stream.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do something about it, dum dum? Are you gonna just sit there with a piss-soaked shoe? Is that what you're gonna do, you loser?
Oh, you're having a rough time in the piss-on-shoe department.
And I would it kill him? I don't know. I think that there are a lot of male Republican voters who'd be like, dude, he fucking pissed on a guy.
Or if he's
that guy's badass.
And at some point, maybe this is me being a child, I guess. At some point, I think, is there nothing that he can do that officially disqualifies him? Not even in the there's nothing he can do that you're just not allowed to do. There's apparently no rules.
Yeah.
You have to get enough signatures. You can still piss on people, but you have to get enough signatures. That's all we care about in this country, signatures.
Yeah. There's some chance he could shiv Marco Rubio in a debate. So be like, hey, listen, man. I don't know. I thought he was an illegal.
And then Marco tries to do something about it, and they're like, no responses. No, go back to your podium.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of
He'd be so thirsty after bleeding out.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Ugly problem he would have. All right. We move forward.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Actually, I'm a little bit parched.
Sometimes at home I drink like that. Just to amuse myself, I'll grab one of those Rubio. And then I'll chuckle, because I'm a dork.
A little bit. Are we pushing on with another story?
Push on!
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Ted Cruz had a little run-in with actress Ellen Page at the Iowa County Fair, and she had some strong words for him on the issue of LGBT rights. Let's watch.
What about the question about LGBT?
Well, what we're saying right now is actually, we're seeing Bible-believing Christians, and one of the Alright, I'm happy to answer your question, but not to have a back and forth debate. Imagine, hypothetically, that a gay and imagine that two evangelical Christians wanted to get married, and the gay chorus decided, you know what, I disagree with your faith, I don't want to provide flowers.
I would say that's I would say they should provide flowers.
And I would say the gay florist has every right to say, if I disagree with your faith and don't want to participate, and you know what? There are lots of other people you can buy flowers from.
Look, Ted Cruz is trying to win this debate by coming up with ridiculous hypotheticals, like gay florist. Come on!
I never heard of one. Couldn't be. So, this funny thing is, he easily loses his own hypothetical. Yeah, under the same principles, of course the gay florist would have to make the cake for the evangelical couple. I mean,
she responded.
Yeah, why would he be...
They don't have to make cakes. I don't know if they can even... Do they even have ovens there?
Right.
But yeah.
Flowers.
No, yeah, and I agree. They should do the flowers. They should whatever.
Whatever,
Pizza
right.
or...
Yeah, and it's because, you don't get to discriminate. No matter what your beliefs are. You could have your own beliefs at home. You can discriminate at home. Be like, hey, you know what? No gay cakes in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or gay flowers or anything like that. But if somebody comes into your place of business, and it's a public place of business, well, we settled that issue a long time ago. You can't do, segregated diners. You can't say, I'm not going to serve evangelical Christians or gay Americans, right? So it's a piss poor hypothetical, which she easily answers.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm here to state my opinions. Not to have an actual conversation with you. What did you think? Like, I care about voters and your opinions? So,
I'm like, dude, you're not on, like, the stage at a debate. You're wearing a pork apron. She's allowed to ask follow-ups.
Yeah, there's no rule against that.
Yeah.
Before we jump to the next thing, also, the original question that she asked, this is what bothered me about this whole thing. The original question from that point was, when the LGBT community is getting fired from jobs strictly for being gay or trans, and he goes straight into anything else but that.
Yeah.
And the hard part is you have to follow what he's saying, and she kind of just started listening to what he was telling her and went with his line of discussion, which is what the debate turned out to be, just him talking to her and then her having to respond to him. She started with the question. After he throws his bullshit foil, she should then say, so what about my original question? You have to stay focused with guys like this. So he continues this the rest of this whole time. So I just want to point out.
No, that's a great
the
point.
discussion is not about what she started talking about.
And it's a great question. I don't know what conservatives think. Like, do you think, hey, you know what? If you're gay, of course I should be able to fire you for being gay. I don't like you. I don't agree with your lifestyle. I don't care how good a computer programmer you are. You're fired. Okay?
I think a lot too.
Yeah. Oh, I don't care if you wanted that job at McDonald's and you need it because you're poor and it'd be a job and you want to work really hard. You're a lesbian. I don't like it.
Sorry.
I don't approve. My God is against you. You're fired, right?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that? That's a great question. And if you're running for president, I'd really like to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And I don't often watch the mainstream media because it's incredibly frustrating, but I did recently watch the Trump's campaign manager, and the dude asked him a question, like a very specific question, and he instantly goes into, we gotta build a wall, all that stuff. And the guy threw up one token, like, hey, no, can we focus on this thing? And Trump's campaign manager was basically like, no, we can't. And he moved on to another thing, and then they never went back to it. And I just thought, they make new shows every day on MSNBC. Can you just make one called, like, Bullshit Alert? And when you ask them a question, the second they deviate, you start blocking out their audio with a loud buzzer. And they fucking can't speak unless they answer the question. People would love that show.
And you'd
make them answer?
You'd immediately be fired.
I know, but that's what people want. MSNBC, you know what they could use? Viewers.
Oh, low blow.
According to them. I'm not saying anything.
Yes. Here's what I liked as the part of that story. The way John does the FU sign, he goes a little up and under. He goes, whoa. I like that. That's a good,
Yeah.
That's not...
all the iron.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. That's probably not going to happen. Okay, so let's see a little bit more of Page versus Cruz.
We're a country that respects pluralism and diversity, and there is this liberal intolerance that says that anyone that dares follow a biblical teaching of marriage, that is the union of one man and one woman, must be persecuted, must be fined, must be driven out of business.
More tolerance for LGBT people was permanently and persecuted in this country. It used to be illegal. They were thrown in jail, and come a really, really long way.
Who's been thrown in jail?
Gay people used to be thrown in jail.
Well, it is interesting right now. Do you know where gay people are being persecuted right now? ISIS.
All over the world.
But ISIS is executing gay people. Iran is executing homosexuals.
Yes.
And on the left, You hear complete silence about Iran hanging homosexuals, and yet the Obama administration is sending over $100 billion to a regime that murders homosexuals. That is fundamentally wrong. But in Iran and ISIS, it is the governmental body that is executing them for being homosexuals. Why does the Obama administration not stand against this? Well, good. Then we're agreed on that. Thank you, ma'am.
Don't do that.
We're agreed on that. Ma'am, we've had a long discussion.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, that drives me crazy. Why is the left silent on Iran and ISIS being against homosexuals? Nobody's silent.
Yeah.
We hate that. We despise that. You know what those guys are? They're radical right-wingers. That's what they are. The political spectrum of Iran, the mullahs and the grand ayatollahs are way on the right. They're against liberty, freedom for others, equality. They're for authoritarian government. They're for religion, like you are, Ted Cruz, as you sit there ironically defending your religion, and then you go, what about their religion? Well, we don't like their religion any better. Okay, we're not silent about it at all. Now, the question is, what can we do about it, and are they running to be the president of the United States, right?
Are they?
So, I mean, I would like to do as much as I can against ISIS, but, like, what is... Okay, speak out against it every day.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're not going to listen to me, right? So I speak out against it anyway, but it's theoretically of more utility if we say to our leaders, and you're an elected leader from the great state of Texas, hey, there is something I can do about you. You're one of my leaders.
Yeah.
One of my leaders, unfortunately. So you have to hear our voice on this, because we theoretically live in a democracy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And he should be responsive to it. And he doesn't seem to understand that you can care more about an issue because it happens in the country where you live than some other country. That's generally how people act. And we do. We care about ISIS and Iran persecuting homosexuals. We hate when Muslim missionaries go into Central Africa and try to get them to be more anti-gay. Oh, wait, sorry, those are Christian missionaries, not actually Muslim missionaries, but you understand the basic point. We do hate that, but we specifically hate the things that are going on in our country because it's the country that we live in. And I had a problem with one of the things he said. He says, their object, speaking about liberals, is their object is to persecute, to punish, to fine any Bible-following Christian or believer that believes in the biblical definition of marriage. That's not true. We don't give a fuck what you believe. We care about what you do. Nobody is getting fined or persecuted or punished for believing that two gay people shouldn't get married. They get fined or persecuted or punished for stopping people from purchasing cakes and flowers or for getting married. It is the actions that matter, not the beliefs. And they keep trying to lump those two things into one thing because it's very hard to speak out against people's beliefs. Much easier to speak out against actions.
All right.
Completely false.
One more matter of misrepresentation there. He said, Obama gave the Iranians $100 billion. As if Obama gave the Iranians $100 billion. No, we had frozen their assets, and we did that in conjunction with the Chinese, the Russians, the French, etc., who did not necessarily want to freeze Iran's assets, and we got them to go along with us so we can get this diplomatic deal. So when we got the deal and stopped their nuclear program, that's when China, Russia, Germany, etc. unfroze Iranian assets, you goddamn liar, as usual. And by the way, if you were running for Grand Ayatollah, I wouldn't give a shit, okay? And I would talk about you a lot less. Be like, well, that's not surprising, a religious hypocrite running for that office, okay? But if you're running to be our president, then I care a lot.
Yes, exactly. Now, look, you watched those two videos. You know that he was evading talking about what she was actually bringing up. So now he goes a couple days later and he gets interviewed about it. Let's see if he gives an accurate representation of the interaction between him and Ellen Page.
Let's begin with what happened earlier that day, when actress and LGBT supporter Ellen Page sought to knock the senator off his game in public, and in the end, she didn't make a dent. You had quite a little tete-a-tete, if you will, with Ellen Page, the actress, who decided that she was going to come after you and talk about LGBT.
Well, you know, Ed, I don't think it's likely that a whole lot of Hollywood celebrities are going to get behind my campaign anytime soon. So that was not a big surprise that she and I had some disagreements there. You know, an awful lot of folks in the media, an awful lot of folks in Hollywood, they dismiss the assault on religious liberty. They say it isn't real. This gathering tonight brings heroes from across the country who have been persecuted for standing up for their faith. Well, you know, Ed, I'm a Christian, and Scripture commands Christians to love everybody. This is about whether the government is going to persecute people of faith for standing up to their faith. And what we're seeing right now, Ed, is this liberal or believer that believes in the biblical definition of marriage. And there's some activists who frankly manifest a hatred and intolerance for Christians, who are persecuting Christians.
Oh, he loves this. Because he gets to play the victim. I am the persecuted Christian. That Ellen Page, with all the power that she has, because she's run the country, right? She's a U.S. senator, right?
Yeah.
She gets to make policy, right, on Iran and all these other things.
she's from Canada, just like Ted Cruz, actually.
Oh, I see. And so, no, you're not the victim here. God, they love to cry. I'm the persecuted one. No, you're the one setting the laws. You're the one with power. She doesn't have any power. But unfortunately, look, I love what she did, and I love the questions that she had, and it should be brought to light what their hideous views are. Having said that, it does play into his hands a little bit, because he gets to go out there and do the two things that he loves. One, you see Hollywood? I got Hollywood. You didn't get shit. But it doesn't matter. All you have to say is Hollywood attacked me, I attacked back. And the second thing is, I'm a persecuted Christian. Poor me. What happened? I thought you guys were all tough guys. I thought, you don't like the whole apologizing and victims and, hey, man up. Man up. I thought you were a tough guy Christian. Stand up for yourself. No, all you see, you go on the show, you cry all day.
Yeah.
Oh, Ellen Page went after me. Oh, lesbian actress went after me. I'm so persecuted. Baby, dum-dum.
When you think about the word persecution, historically, what leaps to mind for me, religious persecution, is not being forced to sell flowers to someone. Being forced to make a profit by exercising your business and selling them flowers and then moving on and maybe not dwelling on it for the rest of your life. Or being forced to bake a fucking cake and make a profit by selling it. That's persecution, literally. Like, not the persecution of stopping someone in whatever way you can from getting married. It's the persecution of fucking having to make a cake.
Okay, John, you're not being fair to them. I remember the Christians used to, in the early days, would get an option. You go fight the lions inside the Coliseum, or you got to go bake a cake. Those are their two options. And oftentimes they'd go to fight the lions. They're like, a cake?
Hey, come on.
No. Do I get to eat it afterwards? Do I make a couple of shekels off of it? No, still I'm going to go to the lions. I'm going to go to the lions. Did the Romans use shekels? I don't think so.
Maybe. I doubt it.
Anyways. All right, guys. Let's take a quick break. Come right back. Kick some more ass. Young Turks. First of all, sorry guys, our bad. First hour we had technical difficulties with Fire Talk. They didn't have technical difficulties at all. Remember, we're rearranging the studio. That's why we had the issue with yesterday's show. So we're going to try to get it up for the second hour. Okay. That's always an unfortunate use of terms. Okay. Anyway.
Maybe talk dirty to us on TYT Live. That might help.
So it's not on Fire Talk as usual. I know, as John said during the break, you're going to have trouble believing we had a technical issue. But it
finally happened. We're going to have to reset the number on our whiteboard.
Right. But it was on us. Okay. We'll get back on there as soon as we can. Member shout-outs for today are member number 751 is Brian Glover. Member number 773 is Andrea Carter. Kalino Anitra says on Twitter with hashtag TYT Live, I love when John plays devil's advocate. Okay, apparently we're doing that at some point. So I like that she loves anything about you.
How could she?
She or he, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know Kalino. And Tanya Sadler says, but without Chinese anchor babies, who will advise us on future wall building? That's an interesting couple of stereotypes put together. Tanya is being sarcastic, of course.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's move on. A couple of great stories for you guys.
Okay. Pollster Frank Luntz has been continuing to conduct these focus groups for Donald Trump, seeing if there is anything that Donald Trump can do that will cause him to lose the support of his devoted fans. And the results are truly depressing. In fact, Frank Luntz, who is a sort of veteran at this and a man largely without a soul, says, my legs are shaking from the results.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are those results that are so shaking? Okay, so he showed a bunch of the videos of the attacking women, attacking Mexicans, all the things that Trump has done, and saying, is this actually going to change your view of Donald Trump? And he got quotes from regular Americans like this. We know his goal is to make America great again. It's on his hat. And we see it every time it's on TV. We see his hat. Everything that he's doing, there's no doubt why he's doing it. It's to make America great again.
It's just that simple, man. See, people overthink politics. What did I tell you? Look, I talk about how you just got to be strong, right? Like, all the nuances of policy, nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? Is he actually going to make the Mexicans pay for our giant wall? Of course he's not going to do that, right? But he's got a fucking hat on that says, I'm going to make America great again. Okay, it's
and the other day he had one, apparently he's the number one dad. It's on his hat.
He even had a mug.
Everything he does, it's because he's the number one dad. Fucking America, Jesus Christ. We always thought that people only cared about heart when it came to the president, but no, they do actually care about what's up here. Just not inside your skull, it's what's cradling it from the winter chill.
So now, remember, of course, not all Americans, he's still unpopular among most Americans, but this is his either current or former supporters, and they're doing a focus group to find out what makes them tick and why they like him so much.
Yeah.
And is there anything that Trump could say that would get them to dislike him? Yeah. And apparently the answer is no. Because it's on his hat. It says make America great again. They're in favor of that.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him wear the hat if he wasn't going to make America greater. Duh, dummy. So Luntz showed the participants recordings of Trump insulting women. Literally insulting women, bragging about himself, and reversing his previous positions on a variety of topics. Flip-flopping, you might say. But the vast majority said they only liked him more after watching the videos. This is Luntz. Nothing disqualifies Trump.
I'm telling you, man, he can pee on a guy. He can do it.
Pee on a guy.
I mean, well, actually, one of his supporters did do it, and he was like, "Hey, they're very passionate." Later,
it's a shame.
Like, a day later, they're like, "It's a shame about the violent part, right?"
Yeah.
But they're, and they're kicking his ass and stuff, but they're passionate.
Yeah.
Right? So
he peed in my mouth a little, but they're passionate. Come on.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing that people don't get. There's two parts of this that explains the whole thing. One of the guys says, holy crap, someone is thinking the same way I am. You see, they're less sophisticated. They think, yeah, the Mexicans are rapists and criminals. They don't, maybe they say it to their buddies, they don't say it at work, right? Even if they do say they're not going to get in trouble because they're not in the national press, right? And they don't know why these other politicians are soft-pedaling it. They
believe that they think it.
That's right.
They won't say it.
That's why they think Trump is more honest. He's not more honest, but he gives off that impression to them because he thinks, they think, doesn't everybody hate the Mexicans?
Yeah.
Like, he's just the only one honest enough to admit it. it doesn't occur because that's what's in their head. It doesn't occur to them that in other people's heads, no, we don't hate Mexicans. Like that doesn't. They just think, of course, everybody hates Mexicans. This only guy brave enough to say it.
Nope. Nobody? I'm getting a lot of shaking heads. What the fuck?
And somebody else says when Trump talks, it may not be presented in a pristine PC way, but we've been having that crap pushed to us for the past 40 years. Again, it's what I've been saying all along. All these smooth talkers, like people think Marco Rubio did really well in the first debate because he had a lot of, well-phrased talking points. No, here's what the American people heard, and especially Republican voters, when they heard Marco Rubio talking. Blah, 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 blah. When they heard Trump, they heard, I'm going to make America great again. And I'm saying what you're thinking. I hate those sons of bitches, and I'm for us, and I'm against them.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's it. That's it. It's that simple. They don't like the political talk. They hate the talking points. They know how fake it is. You think you're smart and sophisticated? No, you look like an asshole. You look fake. And so when one guy comes in and shreds the talking points and talks simply like a fourth grader, literally, they've done the studies, right? That's his vocabulary. That's how he speaks. They go, yeah, I'm a fourth grader. I like that guy. He's saying the same things I thought in fourth grade. Ew, them. Yay, us.
Man, I did a walk and talk today, and I said it used to be pathetic when in America we would say, I want to vote for the guy that I could see myself having a beer with. Nobody would even want to have a fucking beer with Trump because he's an asshole. It would be the most awkward beer. You'd be like fucking chugging it. Okay, I gotta go. Yeah. But we've descended below the bar.
No,
the old bar.
Yeah. Now I'm going to disagree with you. Because man, you get Trump drunk. The things he'll say. Okay, no. You get loaded and be like, one more, Donald. Wait, you gonna let me out drink you? Aren't you number one? Right? And so, aren't you gonna make this bar great again?
Making America wasted again?
Right? So you get him drunk and they be like, come on, tell me what you think of the Orientals. And then sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now the thing is, he'll say the most horrible things, whatever, it'll only improve his ratings.
That seems to be true. I mean, I meant to say this when we were talking about the polls earlier, but he is negative 51 with Hispanics in favorability because he's been talking about Hispanics a lot. He's briefly brought up Black Lives Matter. When he starts talking about other groups, you think he's going to slow down? You think, he only hates Mexicans and maybe the Chinese? No, he's got to hate all sorts of people. We know he hates women. We're waiting for some sort of Jewish comment. He's gonna move on eventually, and he's just gonna destroy himself. I hope. Well, not among the core, but I hope amongst the population.
I think Luntz is right. When it comes to this portion of the electorate, nothing disqualifies Trump. Are you kidding me? He's going to move on to the Muslims. I'm surprised he hasn't yet, right?
That's true.
When he gets to the Muslims, he's going to say the most atrocious things ever said, and they're going to love it. They're going to eat it up. And Luntz says Donald Trump is a punishment to a Republican elite that wasn't listening to their grassroots. Yes and no. No, Donald Trump is a punishment to the Republican elites, not because they weren't listening to their grassroots. That's true. They were doing crony capitalism, and they never meant any of the things that they said. But basically, it's more of a punishment for this Trumpenstein that you created, right? So you fed the racism. You did the Southern strategy. You fed the anti-gay bigotry. You fed all that stuff. And then when this monster came out and ate you, all of a sudden you're like, oh, my legs are shaking. Yeah. Well, then you shouldn't have created that monster in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, man. I was wrong, man. Like 6 weeks ago, I predicted he would probably be gone by now.
I'm telling you,
good at this as I thought it was.
When he says, like, way over the top stuff about Muslims, because there's no way he's coming anywhere near the bar or under the top, right? He's going as far over the top as you've ever seen against Muslims. He's going to get above 30 points in the Republican primaries.
He's sort of avoided talking largely about ISIS and stuff like that. He'll say, all we need to do is bomb him, and said he was the most militaristic candidate ever. So he's going to get back to that eventually, but I think maybe it's his ace up his sleeve.
Like if he runs into any kind of trouble, let's execute the Muslims.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, I don't even mean in other countries.
No. Why go that far? He hasn't talked about gay Americans, as far as I can remember.
Okay, remember that the reason that he has left some groups out Jews, gays, and perhaps even Muslims that he hasn't gone full-throated against yet is because those might be some of his friends. Now, he does have some friends. They're usually well off, right? They're usually in New York.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
okay. And so he's talked in the past, for example, about I know Saudi guys. I've made deals with Saudi guys.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that might be why he hasn't gone ballistic against those groups yet.
Can we send Jesus to hang out with him with some beer or something? Maybe if he befriends Jesus, he'll lighten up on the whole southern border thing.
Yeah, and that way...
Jesus is a delightful guy. I'd have a beer with him. Yeah, but maybe he can paper over this whole divide we've seen.
But then he would lose his appeal and lose the race. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, why don't we move on to... do we have time for this?
Last story.
I think we do. Okay. Cell phone video shows a cop giving a driver a ticket after asking to be paid for it. It's a little bit confusing, but you'll find out what I mean in this video.
You and your friend got any money by these girl show tickets for your police department? $10 each, man. Either you buy these or take your car, because it's unregistered. $10 each, man. Support your police department, man. You got any kids?
I do not.
Do you have any kids? You got any sweetheart?
Yeah. I'd rather take my girl than this guy.
It looks like they want to look like two fruitcakes. You know what I'm saying? Alright, well listen, my man.
Alright, get your money, Raj. Alright, you there?
No. You already paid. You got these tickets, man. Go support your police department.
Okay.
Support cops like me that instead of taking your shit, you two walking.
Alright.
Just buy these serious tickets.
Alright.
Cool. Alright, you got $30? $10 a piece.
$30? Can I get two? I don't want to take this guy.
Well, let him buy it too, or else I'll take the shit.
Okay, look, he's not doing it in a way where he's pulled a gun and he's like, you get the sense of like, this guy's going to shoot me any second if I don't buy it. Like, there's partly smiling, right? But the bottom line is, no, you have an unregistered car. I will take your car. I will take your shit, literally, right? Yeah. Well, not literally, but that's literally what he said. I hope so. That might be an interesting deal. Anyway, I will take your car, your stuff, unless you buy these tickets. Well, that's just flat out extortion, bribery. I mean, when I was growing up in Turkey, that used to happen all the time. Somebody pulled you over with your license, you'd hand over 20 liras or whatever it was, and that's how it worked. Now they made the scam a little bit more sophisticated. They're giving you tickets to a cop event that if you like, you can go show up and hang out with other cops.
Yeah, and who wouldn't want to go? Apparently, so many people want to go that to sell tickets, they have to extort them.
Yeah.
Extort people into buying them. Yeah. I don't know, like, they are laughing a little bit, but at the end, even after they've joked about how much they look like fruitcakes, he then goes back to, or I'll take your shit. Like, he immediately goes back into, I'm the cop, you're gonna fucking buy these, I don't care how many.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you're joking about it among buddies, they don't know this guy, and this guy's an authority figure with a gun.
With a gun.
That could definitely take your car.
Yeah, and this
probably would.
He was filmed this time. Is this the only time that he did it? I have a hard time believing that. And this is a guy who, there is a cell phone camera, like from Jenks the cop. It's here. And he either is so oblivious to what is at waist level of a car that he has pulled over, which seems like a bad idea, or he doesn't even care that they're filming him. So what I really found, what I like about this is we often point out that power abuse of the cops in the form of violence. But it doesn't have to be violence. It can be shit like this, where they're just so hopped up on their own power. Like when Anna told about the time that she was pulled over, I believe last year, they're just so full of themselves that they just want to take it out on people, and he's doing it to score 20 or 30 bucks.
And this is what happens if you don't check power, right? So the ironic thing is, conservatives are always talking about, government power, and they're going to abuse the power. This is government power, and they're in the middle of abusing it, and who are the guys defending him? Usually the right wing turn around, let the cops do whatever they want. Yeah. Bow your head to them. Okay, government power must have its way. But if you don't check government power, this is what happens. Yeah. They wind up abusing it, and the cops never go to jail for any reason. He thinks, I'm never going to get in trouble. I'm a cop. I'm above the law. Yeah. Because we haven't checked their ass in so long.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, in this case, so he's Matthew Zagurski. That's the cop's name. He's a 9-year veteran. He was taken off of street patrol. His gun was taken away. He is still working. He's just not on the streets right now while they do an investigation. The police commissioner, Charles Ramsey, said, there's no part of the video that I liked. There's no part that's justifiable at all. He goes on to say his language on one of the tapes is homophobic, which obviously is a violation of our policy and not what we expect from our officers. To get an idea of the homophobia, can we play this second video? It's pretty short.
What's up with the faggot ass white people?
It's breast cancer, man. My grandma went through it.
Breast cancer I can understand, but can't you support breast cancer another way? You look like a fruitcake. You know, the hell.
This is like every jackass you knew in high school who never changed, never evolved.
Yeah, I know. He thinks there's like some camaraderie going on, and he's a bunch of dudes talking to each other, and saying, "Oh, what are you, fruitcake?" Yeah, and look, I get it. I lived in Philly. I'm from Jersey, and this is how we used to talk in the '80s. It's true. We fruitcakes and all that stuff, right? We're not in the '80s anymore, and you guys don't know each other. And one of you is a cop.
Yeah, that cop was 4 in the '80s.
Yeah, and don't. Okay. They're trying to help breast cancer, and they got the pink wipers, and this guy's like, why don't you find another way to help breast cancer? What are you, a fruitcake? Hey, give me your money, otherwise I'm going to take your car. I mean, that's an impression like a cop. It's a low-level gangster shit. That's what it is.
And look, he is in trouble. Who knows if anything will actually come of this? He didn't shoot anyone, thankfully. That's good. But again, is he the sort of person that you want? Like if he pulls over a really attractive woman, how's he going to act with her? Do you want him pulling over any group that he can exercise power over? I don't feel comfortable at all with that.
So now you folks in the South, you should feel a little bit better because my Southern thing is right. Right? But is that really better or worse than fruitcake?
It's also your Chris Christie imitation, complete with references to fruitcake.
Chris Christie's like, did somebody say fruitcake?
Needlessly throwing Chris Christie under the bus.
Well, it's close enough to Jersey that it's merited. Okay, all right, Johnny Pie, speaking of cakes, God bless, thank you, appreciate it. And when we come back, just when you thought Jared Fogle was terrible, he's actually worse than you thought. We have that story for you when we return.
Next break, here come the Suns. And Peters a nice one-handed slam. I couldn't have drafted a better start than what they've had here today. Everything's working, especially offensively, and what a lead they have already to show for. Orlando with the ball. Here's Oladipo. A good finish in the wrap off the slip. Oladipo's got his third bucket of the night. Suns lead by 13. Lillard, the basket takes the three. Another three for Phoenix. He shot the ball exceptionally well as they built a lead for themselves here. Orlando's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. And Oladipo gives to Vucevic. To the wing on the left. Wide open look. Here's Pollard. Nice D from Kennedy.
Well, it looks like it's in his head right now. It looks tight. He's not producing, and his team's struggling as well.
That's to Lillard. Here's Captain Clutch. The feed to Ward. Here's Flowers. Another one. Balls for Phoenix.
They're really struggling defensively, giving up too many easy buckets. They've been fired offensively as a result, but
guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Reeves the pass to Powell. 6 to shoot. Phoenix grabs the miss.
Good last work there. Rebounds have been a little tough to come by for them in this quarter. Well, it looks to me like they're still finding their way out there, but it is early.
Now, here's Lillard. He had 16 points in the room against Toronto.
He was exquisite, and I think that it wasn't just the scoring, it was the passing, too, and his teammates, you could tell, were just really enjoyed playing with him.
And here's Oladipo. After Damian Lillard was able to get the 3 to go. Now, here's Oladipo. Guarded closer. Out to the right lane. Magic moving the ball around. Goes go. That one's good. Oladipo's got a pair of threes now in the first quarter for the Knicks.
He has been an unquestioned leader offensively this quarter.
Here's Kennedy. And Comet, 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line. I thought the coach was really bashing in that last half, trying to do everything he can to get his message across.
And I'm not sure what he wanted exactly, but he did it with enough fire that I'm guessing he's not going to be happy with any lapse in execution. I mean, he made his point pretty clear.
So a new group on the floor for a win. And now the Suns at fast break. Thomas is running. That is good.
Shaky defense down low again. It's been a mismatch in the paint. I'm sure they didn't go into this one expecting to get battered like they have inside.
Now here's Payson. He's coming off a 10-point game against New Orleans. To the inside. The Magic shoot their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game. And he makes the first. And so Fournier nails both of them. We've got 28 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Waiting on the double team. Kennedy passes to Thomas. Ball stolen. Payton drives in, and he makes good on the way. Payton's got his first bucket in this one.
Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
Here's Thomas, averaging 9 points per contest. Kennedy passes to Thomas. Another three for Phoenix.
And that's what's built in this early lead. Definitely shooting from beyond the arc. Yeah, the D better start getting out there on the feet and soon.
For that. Next Friday, March 17th. To return to the second quarter, and no Latino. Specialized jerseys on display. Welcome back, everyone. And for the Suns, this has been the game they wanted to have.
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition. And that's how they built this lead. They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lane.
Taking it out there with Evan Fournier, and there's Shannon Fry. Then there's Andrew Nicholson, and it's Marble at the three spot. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Magic. Here's Marble. He hasn't scored yet, but I'm sure will change. 6 to shoot. He gets to Nicholson. Leading with a nice touch off the glass.
Crafty pass work there, getting it down low for the easy deuce.
Phoenix with the ball. Kennedy passes to Morris. From 10 feet out, another one falls for Phoenix. And we play through the first minute here in the second. Payton against Thomas. Marble. Off target from 3-point range.
And rebounding numbers don't actually tell the whole story. There's barely ahead in that category, but they've needed them, they've gotten them, they've really battled hard. It's their work on the glass, Steve, that's prevented any kind of momentum swing.
Here's Payton. Isaiah Thomas making his last shot. But this is the Fournier.
All right, we're back on the Young Turks, and we're back on Fire Talk. So now that we've got our stuff straightened out, go to firetalk.com/the Young Turks. Firetalk.com/the Young Turks. I'll take your messages from Fire Talk going forward in the show. In the meanwhile, I will read you some tweets from one when we were not on Fire Talk. Davos Seaworth says Frank Luntz made these fucking monsters, and now his creation has come back to strangle him and the rest of the establishment. Couldn't agree more. Then we've got Delmoy. He said, I bet most of Trump's experience with Muslims is hanging out with Saudi princes at his golf courses. Delmoy, you and I are on the same page. That's what I was thinking as well. Michael Gibbs says, if Trump wanted to make America great again, then he should adopt the policies of when America was great. Eisenhower and JFK. Ooh, good point. Back when taxes on the very rich, like Donald Trump, were 70 or up to 90%. Let's make America great again. Tax Trump at 90%.
But didn't people stop being innovative as a result of that?
Oh no! It turns out we became number one in the world. Our economy was enormously innovative and productive.
Weird.
By the way, I don't believe in 90 or even 70% tax.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, I'm not making that kind of money to be in that kind of bracket, but I hope one day I will be in that bracket.
But even if you're not, I still have issues with it. Like, so, but don't get it wrong. Like, it's not like they get 90% on all your money. You're not going to get taxed 90%. It's for money. Just to give you an example, above $10 million. So below $10 million, you get taxed at whatever you get taxed at. And above 90 million, every dollar above 10 million, they take 90% back in the day. Okay, and it's roughly the equivalent of what it is. Like, I think it was 400,000 back then, which translates to however many millions of dollars today, right? Anyways, there's no chance that's going to happen. There's no chance we're going to make America great again. But I'm telling you that's how we did make it great back in the day. Michael's right. Last point. Samuel Clemens, the cop, talked like one of the Sopranos. Again, couldn't agree more. That's the Philly, Jersey, hey, buy some tickets, you fruitcake. Okay, unbelievable. All right, one super last thing. You remember Doug Hughes, the gyrocopter guy? The one that landed with a gyrocopter in the Capitol?
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
He's, of course, going to be sent to prison. Okay,
solitary confinement?
America. No, he's fighting it right now. They're charging him with a bunch of stuff. I interviewed him, and he's got a legal defense fund set up so that he can try to stay out of prison for trying to deliver the message of getting money out of politics in a very unique way. And so he's encouraging people, and Larry Lessig did, everybody did, to give to Doug Hughes legal defense fund. Now, I share the link with you, but it's enormously complicated, so just type in Doug Hughes Legal Defense Fund online.
You know how to use the Google.
Yes. My kid, by the way, the other day we were having a question about something. He's like, why don't we just ask the Google?
It's true. I mean, he learned very early on that Google knows everything.
Yeah. He thinks Google's a person. He's like, just ask Google.
There's someone behind the screen, looking things up for you.
Yeah, you ask.
Who knows everything.
That's right.
That's awesome. By the way, I wonder how things would have turned out if the gyrocopter actually delivered gyros. Like, would they?
That's funny because that's what I said to him during the interview.
Really?
I was like gyrocopter. I got really turned on thinking like, you're throwing gyros all over the Capitol, and I'm like, oh, here's a gyro. Like, now that would have been a badass gyrocopter.
Right.
Getting, sending out letters to the congressman to make sure to get money out of politics, also good.
Yeah. I like that.
And he spread the Wolfpack message, bless his heart, wolf-pack.com. All right, let's do this now.
Right. Much like Jared Fogle, Jared's foundation is a piece of shit. It is a charitable foundation that actually didn't give out any grants like it proposed giving out grants. And as a result, USA Today exposed the Jared Foundation for what it was, a massive fraud. Now, the whole point of the Jared Foundation was to distribute $2 million a year to different organizations that help combat childhood obesity. But unfortunately, the foundation did no such thing. According to USA Today, Jared's foundation set up years ago with the goal of distributing grants to groups and schools that would fight childhood obesity. They found that it issued a grand total of 0 grants. Okay, so tax records show a significant percentage of the foundation's funds from 2009 to 2013 went to the executive director's salary, and most of the rest is unaccounted for. So they spend, on average, $73,000 a year. They raise that kind of money. The majority of that money went to the head of the charitable organization, who, by the way, was also caught with child pornography months before Jared Fogle was, and then the rest is unaccounted for. So I'm guessing the rest just went to Jared Fogle or maybe someone else who's working for the foundation.
So these guys are interested in children, sexually. They set up a charity that has them near children, but they don't actually give any money or grants to the children. They don't actually do anything they said they're going to do, but it does get them in close proximity to the kids. just when you thought Jared Fogle couldn't get any lower, it turns out that's what this guy was up to. Okay, so again, I'm not putting it on Subway. What do they know? I'm sure that they assumed that he was doing his thing. Why would they hire a forensic accountant to figure out, what his charity, how much they're spending on grants and how much they're not? You only find out afterwards. But when you look at the overall American population, this is why we're all so sick of the fakeness. Because Subway puts him out there as their spokesperson. Again, no fault of their own, right? But he seems like a pleasant guy. Always is interesting. He lost the 200 pounds eating Subway, and he becomes a pop culture staple in a lot of ways in America. And he just like a regular guy, Jared Fogle. And then you find out, no, everything's a veneer. Everything is fake. And it's actually crooked and decrepit and corrupt inside, right? And the guy actually watches child porn, has sex with people that are underage, trying to have sex with girls as young as 14, 15 years old, looking at child porn of 6-year-olds, and then sets up a foundation to get close to kids, but doesn't actually give the kids any money.
No money.
And then you wonder why people are sick of the fakeness. Everything that appears to be pleasant on the outside is actually just a veneer. And when you strip it away, it's ugly behind the scenes, man. We're all so goddamn frustrated with it.
Yeah, it makes me not want to trust anyone who preaches about anything, to be honest. And when you consider the fact that he was worth $15 million as a result of being a spokesperson for Subway, I just don't understand what made him set up this charitable foundation to begin with. Because it seems like it was just used as a front to earn more money. You're already worth $15 million for really doing nothing other than eating sandwiches and losing some weight.
But his child porn buddy, was not worth that much money.
Right.
See, most of the money went to the guy who was helping him get the child porn, right?
Yeah.
And so he gets closer to the kids, he gets his child porn friend some good cash, and you think this guy cares about morals? Like, if you said to him, oh, by the way, you took out everybody's money and never gave it out to the people who actually need it. I mean, I don't know. Does he have a soul? Does he have a conscience?
I mean, I think we know the answer to that one.
Right. I mean, does he go, of course I took the money. Of course I did, you suckers. And I use it on child porn. Or is he like, man, I feel bad about that too. I don't know. But does it really matter? It doesn't matter. I mean, he's going to do his plea deal. He's going to do his time. And I'm so glad we at least caught him.
All right, in other news today, Twitter has decided to disable the PolitiWhoops account because it was going against their current standards, and a lot of people are questioning whether or not that's true. Now, PolitiWhoops was an account that was set up by the Sunlight Foundation, and the whole point of it was to ensure that whenever an elected official decides to delete a tweet, they would post it to ensure that there was transparency and accountability for any type of public post that an elected official puts up there. Well, it existed for quite some time, and then randomly in June, Twitter decided to disable it. And then they actually went further. So let me give you some more information. Last weekend, Twitter dropped the hammer on PolitiWhoops' sister services, cutting off access to DiploWhoops and PolitiWhoops in 30 countries around the globe. So, of course, one of them is for diplomats, one of them is for politicians, and now it's been banned in 30 countries instead of just in the United States. Now, one expert in this case says the following: what elected politicians publicly say is a matter of public record. Even when tweets are deleted, it's part of parliamentary history. These tweets were once posted and later deleted. So Twitter has a really interesting explanation for why they've done this. They're not saying that they're doing it to protect politicians, but I don't believe them at all. They're saying, look, we have a feature available on our site that allows you to delete your tweets, and we have to allow people to enjoy that feature. And if you guys are posting things that people are deleting, well, it goes against our policy. I understand that for normal, everyday citizens who are not public figures, but when it comes to elected politicians, when they put something in the public forum, they should be held accountable for it. It shouldn't be deleted. At least that's my take.
Okay, so first thing is, don't delete your tweets. All you're doing is sending a giant sign to everybody else. This is the one I'm worried about. Oh, no, please don't look at this one. They're tracking that nonstop. I'm actually a little bit more mixed on this story, and maybe I'm biased because I also run a digital media company. Not a big deal. Again, probably literally not a big deal. It's the TYT network, right? And so I think it's not just to protect the politicians. If it was, then I'd be 100% against them, right? I think they're thinking as a company, well, look, I don't want people not using the service because they're worried that whatever they print, type out at 3:51 in the morning in a drunken stupor is going to haunt them the rest of their life. That's why probably some people are staying away from Twitter, right? And so I want people using my service,
right?
And I don't want something they said on Twitter to be held against them for the rest of their life. And that this is more not symbolic. Don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. There could be political pressure as well, and so maybe they're doing it for both reasons, right? But I think that this has a bigger spotlight on it. So whenever anybody talks about deleted tweets and how we found them, executives at Twitter got to be pulling out their hair going, oh no, not pulling out the deleted tweets again. Yeah. That's going to make people nervous about using our service.
They might very well be concerned about that, but unfortunately, Twitter has won. Okay, if you are a public figure who doesn't have a Twitter account, you're actually at a very huge disadvantage compared to other people. Because Twitter is now used as a forum to share information about everything, right? Whether it's your policy ideas or as a reporter, the stories you've written or the stories you've done. When you don't have social media accounts with large followings, you're considered irrelevant. That's the way it works. So politicians, whether they like it or not, are forced to use things like Twitter in order to communicate to their constituents. At the same time, look, I get it. I mean, I posted things in the past that I regretted. And, sometimes I deleted them. Sometimes I decided to keep them there because I know deleting them will actually add fuel to the fire. And you kind of have to take responsibility for something you posted that you later regret. Okay? It's called being a human and apologizing when you get something wrong. The fact of the matter is people get really heated when it comes to certain issues. I recently got really heated when it came to a certain issue on Twitter. It got me into a little bit of trouble. It is what it is. You should be held accountable for it, especially if you're a public figure.
Yeah. No one wants politicians held more accountable than I do. So I think of all the people who should have their tweets be made public, it's politicians. So if Twitter wanted to send a message, I think that they've ironically sent the wrong one here. I get, like I said earlier, I get the intent, and they want as many people using their service as possible, real people. But by doing this, it seems like you're in bed with the establishment and sends a message you don't want. That's less inviting rather than more inviting. So it's a little counterproductive on top.
Right. I think the best rule of thumb when you're a public figure using Twitter is to not respond to anyone on Twitter. Twitter should be used as a platform to share your ideas. It should be used as a platform to maybe share your work. But I now have a policy against responding to people, unless it's a nice tweet. If it's a nice tweet, I'll respond to you. If you're trying to provoke me, you're not going to get a response from me ever again. You can't respond to someone in 140 characters and get your point across in an effective way.
Look, last thing I'll say on it. I like the back and forth, but the problem that happens is that then they camp out and they swamp out everybody else. Mm-hmm. So Twitter was a great way to talk to the viewers of the show. But then once you get into a back and forth with whichever group, they decide, okay, yes, now we're having fun. So then they'll send in 10, 20, however many guys, and tweet after tweet after tweet, and it's like money in politics. They have a larger megaphone because all they do is sit there all day long drowning out other people's tweets.
Yep.
So then I can't communicate with the rest of the audiences effectively, and they ruin it for everyone. So it's not like I haven't engaged people. I've engaged people probably more than anyone else.
Yeah,
with the possible exception of Donald Trump. Right? And so, but to them, that's like an invitation to troll harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Which is why you shouldn't respond to them. It's that simple.
And it sucks because I like checking Twitter, but now when I check it, there's like 28 messages from like professional douchebags, mm-hmm. and so then 2 tweets that I would normally get, 28 more, and then 3 more, and so they ruined it for all you guys. It's like the dork who doesn't know how to hit on girls and comes with and then so when you come in and you're like, hey, how you doing? They're like, oh, get away from me. See, like that other guy.
That's hilarious. All right, moving on. Bill de Blasio is going after topless performers in Times Square. Now, he hasn't been very clear as to why he has such a huge issue about this. He is, of course, a liberal, so it's curious that he's going after people who want to free the nipple. But if you take a look at the pictures, these performers like to refer to themselves as desnudas. They're typically Latina performers. They wear body paint, but we censored it anyway just in case anyone gets offended by nipples. There's some more examples. So they do their thing. They perform.
Not because people get offended, but because it's technically not allowed, right?
Yeah,
and
on
so
YouTube, because people get offended.
I know, but it's hilarious because you can go out in the street and see it, but we can't show it to you online. I mean, it's absurd.
Now, what's amazing is that Bill de Blasio is going after them considering the fact that they're not doing anything illegal. Being topless in New York has been protected since 1992. Okay, so these women aren't breaking the law. Apparently, the main solution he's looking at now is to get rid of the Times Square pedestrian plaza and return it to the way it was years ago, where it was just roadways running through Times Square.
So, I have some sympathy for his position. I think I've become a grumpy old man. So I'm walking through Times Square, which I go to New York all the time, right? And however long ago, a year ago, whatever, I finally realized the tits are out. Okay, man, I must be getting really old, right? And so I looked around. I'm like, wait, oh, that's just paint. I can see their nips. Like, ooh, that's fun. Right? But then this Spider-Man shows up and the Minions show up and they made it like Hollywood here in LA and it's so cheesy. And then they hound you for pictures, and then if you make the mistake of taking a picture without asking for the price, then they say, no, more, I want more, right? And
that's terrible.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, and it's become cheesy. It's not like Times Square was ever classy, right? I get it, but I don't know. I don't love it. And it's a weird thing where all the kids are like, oh, Spider-Man, Batman, and then right next to them is tits. And they're like, Batman, tits, what? Okay, well, maybe if they're teenagers, it's perfect for them. So I'm not offended by it, but I just felt like, I don't know, it cheapened New York City for me a little bit, which I grant you is a bit of a preposterous thing to say.
But going after the topless performers instead of like the 28 other things that are happening at Times Square is ridiculous, right? Like, if his issue is, hey, you know what, I'm trying to clean it up in here or out here, and I want people to be able to like walk through the streets without being haggled by people, I totally understand that, but he's specifically going after the topless performers, and I think those people are the least of your concerns, right? Just let people do what they're doing. They're performing. The reason why people go to Times Square anyway is because they want to be in the middle of all that shit. That's what tourists love, just like Hollywood and Highland. People love that nasty, dirty, crowded atmosphere.
And then every once in a while you get a story in the news, Batman gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, and that's fun.
That's true, I hear you.
All right, come on, let him go. Let him go.
Let the titties go. Okay, I'm sure that if we did a poll, I would get massively outvoted.
Well,
and we're on shaky legal grounds, de Blasio and I, and it's a very unliberal position. I don't even quite know why they bother me. And it's certainly not a big deal. It's not like, oh my God, the nipples! Let's attack that first. It would be the very last priority I had.
You want people to get off your lawn.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what it's really about.
I've become so grumpy that I even want the nipples to get off my lawn.
Yeah, you're crazy. I've never expected this to happen.
I know.
Well, we did actually put a poll together on our TYT app about this.
Oh, we did? Okay,
yeah. The results are unsurprising. Mayor de Blasio wants to crack down on the legal practice of women posing topless in Times Square. Should nipples be free in New York City? A whopping 87% of you so far have said yes, free the nipple. Only 13% of you say no, cover up. Huh.
Yeah. No.
13% of you voted with your wife right next to you.
I'm never going to get outvoted in a poll more deeply than I'm going to get outvoted in this poll.
True. Well,
the poll's going to go deep on this one.
All right, should we take a break?
Okay, let's take a break.
When we come back, the bionic dick.
A lot of good things here, but the rebounds have played a major factor. Hey, so rebounding always one of the key barometers in determining the victor. From G. Thomas, shot is no good. Where it goes, he got up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. quarters of play all on the books, and this one all but over already. Suns ahead, opening up a huge gap. And when we return, look at the fourth quarter. Next one. And now let's go back to a play from earlier as we show you on State Farm, assist of the game.
Well, this had to be the shorts. Absolutely sensational feat, putting it way up there above the rim so that only his teammate could catch it.
Both teams making some changes here. Orlando's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. They got Victor Oladipo. Howard is out there with Andrew Nicholson. And there's Gordon and Reeves in the point guard position. So that's the lineup on the floor for the matchup. And it's Gordon to save. Gordon checked in for us. She's checked in for the Suns. Look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Outside Dragic. The pass to Kennedy. In the corner, it's Morris. Pass to Kennedy. Dragic 6. Here's Dragic from outside. That's good.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Guys are looking for a spark.
Yeah, I mean, a whole stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Gordon with a screen on Dragic. Here's Oladipo with the deflected ball. They get it back. Orlando cracks the miss. Gordon's got his fourth rebound in this one. Double by Kennedy. Reeves the pass to Gordon. He hits Oladipo on the wing. Gordon kicks to Nicholson. He takes it in for the win on the 40 on his feet.
That assist earns him a lead on from his teammate after the basket.
Here's Captain Clutch. Running by Oladipo. No good from Kennedy. Reeves the pass to Gordon for three. It's held in by Warren.
That's the shots you've got to take if you're looking for the three-pointer. I mean, the defense was nowhere around.
Here's Kennedy. That's it, coming off an assist.
All right, back on the Young Turks. FireTalk.com/The Young Turks. Best picture and audio and great interactive features. Let me read you some comments. Dustin Bryce says, so the Jared Foundation is basically a dark tinted van with free candy spray painted on the side. Pretty close there. Good analogy. Erickson Soul says, next week we'll find out Jared was part of ISIS.
The story really does continue getting worse.
I know, right? Erickson Soul also says, I go through Times Square every day. Every street just outside is nonstop porn shops. Who cares if some women have no tops on? Okay, so that seems like a fair point, and ironically, I view that as the good old days of Times Square. So I have nothing against the porn shops. I don't know.
You want to ban the topless performers? Are you serious? I kind of don't believe you, which is why I didn't really debate you on it.
Yeah. No, I don't think I can win the debate. I don't know why, but I'm just telling you what's in my gut.
Just having a bad day.
No, when I was in New York, I was like, yeah, I got it. Spider-Man tits, I got it. I don't know. I got really grumpy about it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm older. Yeah. I'm sure. Are you kidding me? You send me into New York at 17, I'm gonna take a spot right there in Times Square. I'm gonna camp out. I'm gonna be like, what's that?
Oh, what a creeper!
Oh, totally.
I'm kind of glad you've changed.
Oh my God, it's 17, biggest creeper in the world. Like, hey, how you doing? That's
oh my God.
Okay. Totoro's piece says political energy, effort, and funds should not be spent on this sort of thing. There are other issues of higher priority to address. So that actually makes you wonder, why is de Blasio spending time on that, right?
Yeah.
And there is a reason for it, because he's portrayed in the press as such a uber lib that this is his way of saying, no, I'm not so liberal.
We're going to go after those topless women.
Yeah, because that stands out, literally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes everybody go, well, is de Blasio moderate, right? Because this is something that they all know and see, and so it's an easy, cheap way of seeming to be a moderate. It's not so unsavvy.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay, I think. All right, the wall shout-outs of people who brought you this lovely studio. Chris Shapar and Bob Freeman. Bob Freeman is member number 1, so that's a little hard to forget. Chris and Bob, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for helping us with the studio. All right, I feel like I haven't done a post game in a while. We're gonna do the post game today. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
My friend Lauren does that.
Oh really?
Like, we'll eat something tasty. She's like, oh yeah. I don't know what she does. Anyway,
I kind of like that. That's
makes
kind
me
of
laugh.
funny. No, that made me laugh right now.
All right.
You know what? I'm gonna give you one more here. Oh no, it's gone. But somebody had tweeted out earlier in the show about how Bernie Sanders should have a hat too. Like, something like, I'm number 1. That's it. Because I don't know if Democrats are as knuckleheaded as Republicans, because the Trump supporters are like, why am I supporting him? It says it right there on his hat. He's going to make America great again. Right? So I guess single guys should walk around with hats that say, have large cock. We'll travel.
It'll work. It'll totally work. Well, it'll be like, oh, obviously he's got a big dick.
It's on his hat.
It's on his hat. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. Scientists have completed a miraculous surgery involving a bionic dick. Now, this has to do with a 43-year-old man who actually lost his penis in a terrible accident when he was just 6 years old. He was in an accident where a car dragged him 600 yards, and it ripped his penis off his body. I know, it's a really terrible, terrible way of even explaining the story, but it is what it is.
Is there a non-terrible accident where your penis gets ripped off?
No, there isn't. But I feel like this one is particularly brutal. You're dragged 600 yards. Anyway, he went decades with this terrible situation, and finally researchers found a way to attach a fully functioning bionic dick. So let me explain to you exactly how it works.
No. We can rebuild it. Is it the $6 million cock? It's not 6 million. It's also not 6 inches. It's better.
Yeah, it's an 8-inch bionic penis. I should refer to it as a penis. So here's what he has to say about it. It has been a successful surgery. His name is Mohammed Abad. He says, when you want a bit of action, you press the on button, which is actually located near his testicles. And when you're finished, you press another button. It takes seconds. He says, I have a pump in my testicles, so when I want to have sex, I pump it up, inflate it, and the fluid makes its way into the tubes, and that gives me an erection. And after that, I deflate it, and I'm finished.
This is like that Gary Shandling movie where, like, when he gets aroused, he was an alien, and you would hear him. And I don't know if this one makes a noise. And when I heard about the button, I was like, well, that seems inconvenient to put it by the testicles. Like, you gotta go all the way down. Like, why don't you like this? Like, put it somewhere convenient. But I get it. It's the fluid. It's getting the testicles.
Yeah.
So that's a little awkward. Like, oh, honey, you're really turning me on. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now, having said that, are you kidding me? He went from no penis to
a functioning penis.
An 8-inch bionic penis. I mean, they say, I love this part of the story. Upon who's divorced and currently single, not for much longer. Okay. I don't know. Does that have any kind of appeal? Of a 8-inch robotic penis?
I think I'm neutral. I think
neutral to bionic penis. Neutral.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's the upside of knowing that he can become erect whenever he wants, right? Because later on in life.
Upside.
Yes, exactly. Well, a lot of people do have difficulty with that as they get older, so that's the huge silver lining to all of this. Yeah, And by the way, I like that they use I want to have a serious discussion about this very awesome advancement in the scientific field and also the medical field. And you're making light of this.
No, I love what they did for the guy. I mean, anybody who is a male is thinking this is a giant win for mankind, or mankind. And so, no, I love it. And more important than that, yes, science. I love science.
Science is great.
Medicine, yes. Advancement. These are all wonderful things. But did you hear what his favorite holiday is?
What?
Erection Day.
How did we not come up with that? Oh, that was good.
Okay, anyway, God bless the scientists of the world. God bless this guy. I'm glad he's back in the game. And I think it's going to work for him, man. I mean, he's singing, you go to a bar and be like, would you like to see my bionic cock? How does that not work? That's almost as good as when Wes Clark used to be in a safe house, and he's like, hey, baby, you want to come back to my safe house? Yeah, of course. The answer is yes every time. Right?
Okay. Move on to something else. All right.
Yeah. Come on, you at least want to see it.
Sure. Look, I'm more amazed.
A documentary. I mean, like, what does a bionic cock look like?
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I'm curious to see what it looks like. I didn't think about that.
From other parts of his body.
Yeah.
And put it around it. So why does it look realistic? Does it not? Does it glow in the dark? I don't know.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see it, I guess. I'm just more amazed that they were able to attach a fully functioning penis that becomes erect at
the press of a button.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I took a perfectly good story and I was a total dick about it.
So I'm sorry. One thing is this controlled by remotely? He has a switch.
He has a button on his testicles.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
I was worried because this is a mechanical thing. Someone could hack it.
Oh yeah. Oh my
And then,
God.
what's the worst thing that could happen? He gets an erection because someone hacked into him?
When he doesn't want one, his bionic dick is out when he's...
Doesn't that happen to dudes all the time? Like, who cares?
13 years. 13 years.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, no, man, somebody hacked my cock. It wasn't me. Okay.
Okay. All right, let's move on, please.
By the way, the least favorite part of that story for him was when they had to put the button on his testicle. I'm like, okay, good news, we're giving you a bionic cock. Bad news is we're going to have to drill into your testicles and put a button there. Anyway, all right, sorry, go ahead, next one.
Chick-fil-A is looking to build one of their restaurants near Denver's airport, but the city council in the area is actually thinking that it's not the best idea, and so far, they have halted the approval for the restaurant because of Dan Cathy's statements about the gay community back in 2012. Now, city council members have halted the approval of a Chick-fil-A location at the Denver International Airport as they debate whether or not the franchise should get a 7-year deal. 4 Denver city council members said they want assurances that Chick-fil-A's hiring practices won't discriminate against people based on their sexual orientation. They're also concerned that any of the profits made by the company will go toward anti-gay politicians. Now, this is a really interesting story because it involves a restaurant that has made political speech in the past that we disagree with, but it also involves elected officials that might ban the restaurant based on their political beliefs. And so I think there's a constitutional issue here. Yes. So as city officials, you are not supposed to ban something because of their political speech, right? Just because you disagree with their political speech, you're not allowed to say, all right, well, I don't like you, so I'm going to ban you, right? Political speech is protected under the First Amendment. The First Amendment prevents the government from stopping you from saying things that you want to say or saying things that you believe. In this case, Dan Cathy said something that I disagree with, but, I mean, you can't have governmental officials punish him for his speech, and I feel like that's what's happening here.
Yeah, I'm a little torn on the story, too. I mean, I didn't get as deep as you did on the political speech angle, and I'd have to think about that a little bit more as to what are the parameters of that when it comes to the city council. Obviously, they're elected for their beliefs, they get to exercise it. The people want them to exercise their views. That's why they elected them, right? But does that mean they can block the views of other people's? And what does it mean to block the views of other people? Hey, you can go have your restaurant somewhere else, but not here. Is that infringing on their protected speech? Those are good questions. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, I guess I'm a little tired of our Chick-fil-A ban. I've held it. I don't know about other people at TYT and other places. I think I'm the only sucker who's still holding on to that ban. The ban obviously has not worked nationwide. They have perfectly good business. Let's just keep it real. We make fun of the right-wingers when their bans don't work. Like, they banned Disney. It was hilarious. And then Disney made, like, record profit after record profit. And then, like, quietly, 13 years later, they're like, okay, fine, we're not banning it. Okay, and then they all rushed into like Disney World and Disneyland. Yes. So those are like the family, we hate gay people groups. So now our ban on this seems to have not registered at all, as far as I can tell. And by our ban, I don't mean TYT. I mean overall, people who care about gay rights, civil rights, were obviously didn't want to go to Chick-fil-A anymore. They're the second most requested franchise in this airport. Number one's Chipotle. Number two is Chick-fil-A. Okay, so very popular. And I feel like, okay, they disagree with us. And yeah, especially if they give money to causes that actually fight against gay rights. I'm mad. I hate them. Disagree. Not just disagree, but I think they're trying to take away other Americans' rights. It's a little deeper than that. I'm just kind of tired. Right? Yeah. Like, okay, yeah. I mean, there are people in the country who totally don't agree with us. They have what they think are religious values. They're wrong about their own religious values. In the Bible, Solomon's married to 1,000 people. Sorry. Has, I think, 300 wives and 700 mistresses, or the other way around, right?
Look, again, I hear you. Your argument is, I'm just tired of all of this, which I get. I'm tired of all of it as well. But whether you're tired of it or not, elected officials or the government cannot tell any group of people or any company or any organization, you are not allowed to say this. The Constitution protects people so they can say what they want to say without the government coming in and punishing them. Yeah, and there are already laws that prevent the businesses from doing that. Businesses cannot discriminate against people based on their sexual orientation.
Are they, what the public official in this case is worried about, what I'm worried about is, are they going to then turn around and take their corporate profits and give it to campaigns that would limit the rights of some Americans?
They might, but isn't that also protected speech?
Well, at this point, because of Citizens United, everything is speech, right? So it's a tough case.
Okay, and here's another thing to take into consideration. A few years ago, we did a story about Target funding anti-gay politicians. So are they going to... And they don't do it because they're against gay people. They do it because they like the politicians who want to lower taxes. And they often tend to be bigots as well. So are they going to also ban Target as a result of that? You know what I mean? It turns into a very complicated, complex situation.
And Target always has Nutty Bar. Not every store has Nutty Bars.
I mean, take that into consideration.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right? And so, okay, you know what? Let's do a poll that we had not intended. Since I'm kind of split on it, we're a little bit split on it here internally. What do you guys think? Is the Denver City Council allowed to, or should they? Let's not allow to, but should they ban Chick-fil-A or should they not ban Chick-fil-A? Go to the TYT app. You can obviously download it by typing the very complicated TYT in the App Store. And I'm genuinely curious about what you guys think.
One small thing on it, you guys, unless I heard it wrong, it sounds like the city council is looking into whether or not their practices would be discriminatory in their hiring practices with gay and LGBT people in the community. And if that's the case, if they're looking into whether or not that'll be part of their hiring practices, I can see why you would hold this up. That's different than saying we don't like your free speech, we don't like who you support, therefore we're keeping you out, but more because you're going to actually conduct business in a way that's discriminatory. If that's what it is, I agree with the city council looking into it. But
No, it's fine. It's fine for the city council to look into it and make sure that they don't have discriminatory hiring practices. But the city council members straight out said, we're worried about them using their profits to fund anti-gay politicians. But it's within their right to use their profits to fund anti-gay politicians. You can't have the city council getting involved in who you're giving money to. You see what I'm saying? Because that's still a form of political speech. If they want to investigate to make sure that they're not discriminating, I'm all for that. They can't discriminate. There are already laws that ban that kind of activity. So,
but that's what I heard. It sounded, again, just from what you were going off of from the article, it sounded like that's what their beef was. They're like, we're looking into whether or not they can have some discriminatory hiring practices. And I heard the other part of that too, so it makes sense. But if it was just that, that's reasonable, I think. But again, it sounds like it's more than that. So yeah, it's a problem.
I just wish people would read the Bible. That guy, I mean, he's lived how long? He runs a giant company. He's rich. He's this. He's that, and he's like all obsessed with his religion. Doesn't know what the fuck's in the Bible. There's 1,000 different kinds of marriages in the Bible. And yeah, as we've gone over a million times, yeah, being gay is wrong, so is eating shrimp. He doesn't give a shit about that, right? I'm sure some of the food he serves is totally unbiblical. Like, they do their whole life identity around a philosophy they never bothered to check in on.
yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. I mean, they wasted their lives away, which is depressing.
Yeah. It's like you built your life around Monopoly and you never bothered to read the rules.
Yeah.
Weird analogy, but you see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, go.
A prisoner in Norway has hacked into the flat-screen TV systems in the prison and has found a way to share porn and communications with other inmates. Now, this happened at the Halden prison in Norway, which is supposed to be a high-security prison, but keep in mind that in institutions like this, they're very, very liberal, and it's all about rehabilitation. They don't really focus too much on the punitive aspects of it. According to one authority in the prison, they figured out what was going on after we reacted when we noticed unusually high data traffic and that inmates were having more than the normal trouble with their TVs. In addition, we found a handwritten note with a login on an inmate during a search. Now, inmates enjoy flat-screen TVs, an ensuite bathroom with ceramic tiles, and a mini fridge in their cells. Time magazine has hailed it as the most humane prison in the world.
Okay, so I'm amused that the prisoners were so sophisticated that they were able to hack the TVs to talk to one another, but then they quickly grew bored with talking to one another. They're like, hey, wait, can we get porn on this thing?
Yeah.
And when somebody figured that out, they're like, end of this. All conversations stopped. Everybody starts watching porn. The data spikes. I'm filling in some of the details here. Okay, we don't really know if it was the conversations or the porn that was spiking the data, but
the porn.
Yeah, we have a pretty good clue. Okay, so I love the Norwegian attitude toward this. Well, that inmate has been transferred to another prison, and they are considering reporting the incident to the police.
Norway is amazing. No, Norway is amazing. So, look, you read about the prison system there, and you think to yourself, this is crazy, okay? There's no way this works. They probably have criminals running around. They're probably back in prison right away. No. When it comes to recidivism, Norway kicks the United States' ass. I always look this stat up every time we talk about the prison system in Norway, and every single time I continuously become more and more surprised. So recidivism is at 52% in the U.S. That means that these people will get rearrested, reconvicted, and they'll be back in prison, okay? In Norway, it's 20%. And they treat the prisoners there like kings. They have better treatment than I do in my own apartment. Flat screen TV, ceramic tiles in the bathroom, an ensuite. I don't have an ensuite.
I don't even know what an ensuite bathroom is.
It's when you have your master bedroom and then a bathroom attached to it.
Oh, do they have a walk-in closet? Okay, so to us Americans, this seems ridiculous because we're barbarians.
Yeah.
So this guy who hacked into the technology of the prison, you know what we'd have done to him?
Solitary for 3 years at least.
Oh, minimum. He'd be bleeding from the ears. We'd have come in baton swinging, right? Boom, boom, boom. How dare you? Flat screen TVs. Politicians here would be tarred and feathered and ridden out of town if we gave flat screen TVs to any prison, let alone individual prisoners, right? And in Norway, they're considering reporting the incident to the police. They're already in prison. Yes, report it. It's amazing. So, since I grew up in this culture, I too am a Visigoth. I'm a Philistine, right? So I think like, no, must punish more, right? But we are factually wrong. If you want people to commit less crime, it turns out you should try to rehabilitate them and treat them a little bit better, as if they're actually human beings. But you think America will learn from this? No way. We'll continue to be like, oh yeah, that's a good point, you Norwegians. That's what we think, right? Well, solitary for this guy. No way, man. They're like, oh yeah, you want to talk to people? You want to talk to people? You're not going to talk to somebody for 3 years. Go to hole.
Right. Well, you also have to keep in mind in the U.S. there's a vested interest in a high recidivism rate. Right? A lot of people make money off of prisoners, which is why the war on drugs continues. The federal government refuses to take marijuana off the Schedule 1 list of substances. And at the same time, you have private prisons that continuously lobby politicians to pass tough on crime legislation. So we don't have a vested interest in rehabilitating prisoners. That's the worst part about this story.
So that's a great point. So when we look at our system and think it makes no sense, we're looking at it from the wrong perspective. It makes no sense if you're a citizen. But if you're the people who control the lawmakers and write the laws, it makes all the sense in the world. So to the private prison industrial complex that we have here in America, this is not a failure of our system. It's part of what they built the system for.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's depressing. Okay.
I mean, I thought this was going to be a fun story about porn, but then we fucked it up.
Yeah, I know, by having a serious, smart discussion about it. Sorry.
I wish we did that about the bionic dick story.
No. I don't do that at all.
No.
Okay, we skip forward. Go to the.
You want to do the story?
Last story.
I didn't want to talk about this, but okay, fine. Let's do it.
No. Come on. This is a great story. You're crazy.
It's not a great story. Okay. The Sigma Nu chapter at Old Dominion University in Virginia is now facing suspension because they posted some banners that offended many, many people. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the banners and what they said. Apparently, some of them said, freshman daughter drop off, hope your baby girl is ready for a good time. What else? One of them says, go ahead and drop mom off too. So people saw that, and of course there are lots of different perceptions, lots of different interpretations of what it means, and many people felt that this was another example of rape culture on college campuses. Now, before we share our commentary, let me just say that there is a huge problem with rapes happening on college campuses, administrators brushing it under the rug because they're worried about their reputations, and so that should absolutely be addressed. However, is this an example of that culture? Go.
I think definitively no. Okay, so if that's a different problem at Old Dominion, then you should 100% address that. But these are kids. They're young kids, 18, 19, 20 years old, right? And they think things are funny, and we were all kids, weren't we? Kids, like they didn't write that like drop your daughter off so I can rape her. Right, that's not what the sign says. Mm-hmm. They're having fun. Drop mom off too, so now so I can sexually assault her. They're saying that because they think it's funny. Yeah. Now, does it in any way imply sexual assault? No, it doesn't. The plain reading of it does not imply sexual assault. Now, that doesn't mean that people should not be concerned about it, mm-hmm. right? And I get why people get angry about it and why they're offended by it, etc. Because we don't all have the same perspective. I've never been in a situation where I was sexually assaulted, where I had that threat, where I lived in a culture or et cetera, where I was under threat, right? So it's so easy for me to look at that and dismiss that sign, right? So I want everybody to open up their eyes a little bit and think about it from other people's perspective. So as much as I don't see it at all, I want to hear out people who do see it.
I agree with you. I do want to hear out people who do see it. And my initial reading and my current reading of it is that this is not something worth being as outraged about as other cases. Because when there are situations where someone is saying that she or he has been raped and administrators ignore it and they brush it under the rug, those are issues that should be noted. Those are issues that should be controversial. People should talk about them and they should be outraged about it. I feel like stories like this actually take attention away from real cases of rape and sexual assault on college campuses. Because if you start getting people's attention by talking about banners like this, then they're going to be turned off by all accusations regarding, rape culture on college campuses. I gotta be honest, I mean, part of the reason why I didn't want to do the story is because I know my opinion on this is controversial. I know people are going to be upset at me, but I didn't see this as a big deal.
Yeah, and look, I'm now a dad. I got a daughter, so when they're like, "Go drop your daughter off here," yeah, if I was on campus, I wouldn't like that, right? But that doesn't mean we're going to sexually assault her. That means they're horny 19-year-old boys at a frat house. Now, sometimes that can lead to trouble. You want to be cautious about that. I hear you. Mm-hmm. But in this case, that's not what the sign said, right? And so, do those frat boys want to have sex with the women who come to campus? Of course they do! And will that happen? Yes, that'll happen, right? We just want it to be consensual. So now why the different perspectives? So this is very interesting. 1 in 5 women report being sexually assaulted, right? On college campuses. Now that's huge. That's 20%. Now, but only let me put it this way. Only 6% of males commit sexual assault on college campuses. So that's a big disparity. Mm-hmm. So 20% of women, which is a high number, right? And only 6% of guys, it's a fairly low number, obviously triple the number, right? More than triple. And so why is that? Because the average male who commits a sexual assault commits on average 6 sexual assaults.
Jeez.
Okay? So it's some small percentage of guys that keep doing it over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of women feel the repercussions of that. So to them, they're like, what do you mean sexual assault's everywhere? And for guys, 94% of them aren't doing it. So they're like, what are you talking about? No, we're just trying to get laid. Nobody's doing anything non-consensual. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody who's doing anything non-consensual. That's probably true because 94% of them aren't doing anything wrong.
Right.
But you got to actually talk to each other so you can understand why
people have the perceptions that they do. And you got to be open to other people's perceptions, because if you keep yourself in a bubble and you refuse to understand what other people have gone through, well, then you're shutting yourself out to what the reality is. Okay? And so, look, this particular story with these banners doesn't mean that we deny what's happening on college campuses today. Rape is a very serious issue that should absolutely be addressed. What I'm trying to say is you can't take situations like this and kind of put words in someone else's mouth and say, oh, they're implying rape and sexual assault. That might not be what they're implying at all. And I think it's really interesting that the university, or I should say the organization that is under this fraternity umbrella, took immediate action when it came to this. But when it comes to cases of rape and sexual assault, you hear people brushing it under the rug all the time. So it's interesting that a banner is enough to offend people and lead to action, but someone saying, hey, this happened to me and I need help, is treated in a completely different way.
Now, one last thing. Michael Kimmel did a really great piece in Atlantic. That's where I got that number from. And one other thing that he mentions in here, which is when you study it, why do some college campuses have more rape than other college campuses on average? And there's a couple of different reasons why. And this could happen anywhere, as well as a college campus, but a sense of an entitlement, the 3 factors that go into it, where the guy thinks, I'm entitled to have sex with you and it's not your choice, right? Opportunity to be able to do that and not get caught, because this is another really depressing fact. A small percentage of guys say that they would have sex with a woman against her will if they think they wouldn't get caught, right? I'm sorry, they would do it if they could. If you tell them you're not going to get caught, 40% say they would do it. Okay.
Yeah, I want to look into the methodology.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Of course, we all do. But I'm not overly surprised by that.
Yeah.
Like that, but that's super depressing, right? It's 36 to 44%. Now, but if they think they don't have the opportunity, well, then less of them are going to do it, right? Based on that study and also common sense. And then the third thing is a culture of silence, where other people implicitly approve what you did. Like, it's okay, boys will be boys, and nobody ever gets punished for it, right? So that's why sometimes in frat life, well, there's no RA in the dorms, right? Like there are in the dorms. The opportunity is easy. It's right upstairs. The guy's room's right upstairs, right? So, and oftentimes you'll get high fives at the end. Because they're not going to get into the details. It doesn't mean all the guys in the frat are bad guys. Sometimes they are, but sometimes it's like, oh, I got laid, and everybody's like, yeah, high five, They don't ask the girl, "Oh, what was your perspective on it?" Right? And so also sometimes with and this is fascinating with the helmet sports, it actually winds up that they commit sexual assault a little bit more than others do. Helmet sports being football, hockey, and lacrosse.
Is it because of head trauma?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. But and then the sports that bring in more revenue also higher sexual assaults.
Probably because that leads
to a sense of entitlement, right? And a culture of silence because he's the star, so everybody wants to cover up for him. Right. No, it's okay. Look away, and he has all the opportunity in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's a really interesting look into why this happens. Hence, to bring it all back, in a fraternity situation, yeah, you might have a couple of those factors. So that doesn't mean you shut down all the fraternities. That means, hey, you know what? Let's look at this and figure out what's the way to minimize the risk, and while still allowing people to be humans and have fun, etc. But it also doesn't mean that everybody in a frat's guilty. Everyone who plays lacrosse is guilty. Everyone who's a big basketball star is guilty. Of course not. And if you make that assumption, it belittles the legitimate cases and becomes counterproductive and creates more problems than you already had. Doing the best we can to bridge the divide here. Okay, have conversations, learn from one another.
We just had the conversation and we spoke on both sides of it. I'm not sure where we landed on this, honestly.
Yeah, okay. So JR's not buying any of this bullshit?
I mean, I accepted y'all's stance, and then I heard a full explanation of why it's bullshit. So, first, yeah, well, they're just kids will be kids. It doesn't mean anything to do with rape. It has nothing to do with sex, because the sororities have signs out saying, hey, guys, drop your sons off, because we're going to fuck them. None of those signs aren't out there. There's no, like you said, from those helmet sports to the schools that have the star athletes in those sports, it happens more. It's like if a guy from the Ravens, because we heard about Ray Rice last year beating on his woman, has some like suggestive thing about kicking some woman's ass, but doesn't say, I'm going to kick your daughter's ass, but says, sometimes I have anger issues, you're going to go, what does that mean? You can suggest shit and you're saying it. They're not slick. We all knew college guys, we all were college guys, and we do stupid shit, so that's where we can agree. But this is what they're saying. It's pretty fucking obvious.
You think so? So you're against?
Are they saying drop your daughters off because I'm going to study with them with chemistry?
No, bro, I'm pretty sure they would like to have sex with them.
But they're not. They're not
going to rape them.
Yeah, they're not. That's the thing. I think people are conflating two different issues, right? They're looking at those banners and they see rape, but they're not saying rape, right? They're saying, yeah, I'm sure they want to have sex with them, but they're not saying drop your daughters off so we can rape them. You know what I'm saying? Like, drop your daughters off, we want to have a good time with them. It could mean that. So I feel like a lot of people are putting words in their mouths, and honestly, I think that's a little unfair.
We know frat guys. We know them. We know them. I know a lot of them. And I know how they talk, and I know how they think. Again, not all of them. But like I said, not every football player is a domestic abuser. But a lot of them are. It's just the way it is. So when that's the case, you don't do things to perpetuate that stereotype and say, and embrace it, this negative stereotype on this group of guys that you are, and then say, and laugh about it. Because I knew 6 women that were raped in college. 6 of them. None of them could tell anyone because that's how this shit would have happened. And it's not funny to then, and your 18-year-old daughter's getting dropped off. Because I guarantee you, at Jank, if you're dropping your kid off and you see all that, you're going to walk up to a couple of those doors and be like, hey, check it out. Remember this face. If you think you're going to get away with something with my daughter, I will fucking kill you. Trust me, you'll do that. It's not, no, don't taunt me like that. You kidding me?
Yeah. But JR, again, it's a monumental difference, right? But Jared, like you drop off you don't have a daughter, but if you had a daughter, if you drop off your daughter at college, you think that whether they have the sign up or they don't have the sign up, every guy in the school doesn't want to have sex, okay, that's an exaggeration, but close enough, right? With the girls that are coming in, you know that's just life in the big city, right? But if it's non-consensual, it's happened to your friends, well, that's 1,000,000% different. 1,000,000%. So that's such an important distinction.
least by the numbers, the repeat offenders are guys that are in these types of frat houses. So if you know that, which they must know, you don't do stuff like this. It's like you're pushing that point. You're pushing that. You're teasing that point. The guys in the science room or the guys down at the quad all the time, they're doing their frisbee golf, aren't posting signs on the trees saying, "Hey, senior girls play frisbee golf with us," because they're not the ones that are seen as the rapey guys. These guys are, and they know it, and they think it's funny.
Okay, so last thing on this. Look, I think that you're asking me where I land on it. Where I land on it, and why I went through that whole long spiel, is that if you know that there's a situation where the odds are greater, there are proactive steps that you can take to make sure that doesn't happen. So, for example, with entitled some bitch, whether they're entitled for whatever reason, right? Now, the sports are easier to define, so they could be entitled because of wealth. But then what are you going to do? Go try to find rich people? That's weird and awkward and undoable, right? And not practical. And not all rich people are entitled, feel entitled, of course, right? But for the star athletes, we can take a lot of precautions with the football teams, the basketball teams, the revenue teams, right? And say to them, hey, look, this is what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. You go even 10% outside of what's acceptable, and we're going to lay the hammer down on you, okay? We're going to come after you 100%, and then you actually execute that. So then that sends a message. And believe me, you kick a couple of guys off the football team and they lose their scholarship, okay, then you're going to send that message loud and clear. With the frats, look, the guys in the frats will lose their minds and, if you suggest chaperones or whatever, or a couple of people that are RA-like people at a frat party if they're going to throw one. They're like, oh, no way, dude, it's a bummer to dark. But you know what? People are still going to have sex. They're still going to have a good time. But there's a couple of responsible people in the room to make sure sexual assault doesn't happen. Well, I think that makes sense. So that's a reasonable precaution. But if you're going to, throw out everybody who's making a joke like this, and I know, Jared, they made it in a very public way. So it seems like they're being aggressive about it, right? And if you're being aggressive in that context, that's what's getting everybody's red flag up, right? So I get it. But at the same time, it is a joke. They didn't say rape. I think there's a better way to handle that situation systematically and systemically rather than just punishing that particular frat. So that's where I landed on. All right. Okay. Whew. That took a while. Okay, but it was an interesting issue. And it had to be sorted out, and we were the guys to do it. Okay. In a post-game, we'll do more interesting stories about our lives. TYT Network. TYTnetwork.com/subscribe. Bye-bye.